Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here we have seen how there was one citizen who was very bold, and he came forward and then he started asking, oh, but now what you're telling is completely different from what your father Vena taught us. Then he's asking, why did Vena teach us differently? And Prithu Maharaj is giving him explanation about how by performing one's duties, a person by worshipping Krishna and Vishnu, he says here, Krishna, Vishnu is the same. I have just agree that only by the blessings of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality, can anyone do their duties, prosper, or enjoy their senses. What to speak of go to heaven or achieve liberation? This is so beautiful. Even to perform duties, we need the blessings of the Lord. This is that level of surrender of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It's not about the power in our will and sadhana. It's about dependence on the Lord. To know that even to perform our duties, we need the Lord's mercy. And also to prosper, we need the Lord's mercy. And to enjoy our senses, we need the mercy. And what to speak of going out of this material world or to attain liberation. So he's saying, just by trying to serve Lord Vishnu, anyone who is suffering can immediately cleanse the dirt which is accumulated in their minds over innumerable births. Pause. That's what we are trying to do, right? We're studying Bhagavatam every day. We're cleansing the accumulated dirt on our mind, on our consciousness, through studying of Bhagavatam, through chanting of the holy names of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We chant every day. We do the Vishnu Sahasranam to cleanse many innumerable births of accumulated sins. And then that's the path, right? That's the path. And we can feel it. The one day when we don't chant, we know how we feel. And the next day when we chant, we get that strength, right? Okay, continuing. The purifying power of devotional service is as great as that of Ganges, which washes the Lord's toes. It sanctifies the mind and gradually enhances one's spiritual consciousness. The man asked, my Lord, how can I get all these benefits? Prithu smiled benevolently. You must hear about and glorify Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. This will completely free your mind of all misunderstandings and mental speculations. Then detachment from material enjoyment will arise in your heart. Oh, how many of us would like that? How many of us would like mind that's completely freed from all misunderstandings and mental speculations and becoming detached from material enjoyment that arises in our heart? That's a good meditation for tomorrow's yagya, to ask the Lord Nrsingadev to free us from this contaminated mental speculations and attachment to material enjoyment and make us more ready to do proper devotional service that will please Krishna. Better to ask for something that is lasting and than something very temporary and mundane and materialistic. A good prayer. Let's see who is here. Hare Krishna, Prema Pallavi Mataji and Rasastali Mataji. Would any of you like start reading from here?
Hare Krishna.
From here, a knowledge of your spiritual identity.
Knowledge of your spiritual identity in relation to the Lord awakens you, will not return to this material existence filled with these three types of miseries. The man bowed his head The man bowed his head in submission and with folded palms stepped back. Prithu looked over at the leaders of the four Varnas. One of the chief merchants said, "O king, most of us are householders, steeped in worldly affairs. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by elevated personalities like Brahma, Shiva, and the great sages. How is it possible for people like us to develop a relationship with Him and become detached from the material world?" Thanking him for his question, Prithu said, "Simply try to satisfy Vishnu with your body, mind, and words by hearing about him from spiritual authorities and glorifying him, and by sincerely performing your duties, offering him the results of your work. This is possible for anyone, even one in the lowest status of life. Do this to the best of your ability, without pretense, and with firm faith in Vishnu. Then you will achieve the highest success, receive all necessities of life, and when you quit this body, you will rise to the spiritual world." The merchant said, "Dear King Prithu, forgive my ignorance. How do we offer the fruits of our work to Vishnu?" Prithu replied, "You can please him by sacrifice." The merchant looked doubtful. "We do perform sacrifice, but to secure our material needs. We sacrifice to Surya for health, to Indra for rain, to Durga for a good wife. Are these rituals not materialistic? How can they please Vishnu?" Prithu smiled. These were the very confusions he wanted to address. He said, "All these sacrifices, including at least a touch of devotion to Vishnu, who is purely spiritual and unconditional by the matter. In all of them, Vishnu is given a central position. This is very important to understand, since even a little endeavor to please Vishnu is of great value. Even a tinge of devotion purifies the performer and gradually brings him to the spiritual platform. Therefore, although such rituals are superficially material, the results are transcendental." The merchant raised his eyebrows. "Do you mean to say that the detached Brahman gets the same result from performing the sacrifice as one like me who still aspires for worldly enjoyment?" "Different performers get different results," replied Prithu. "Although the supreme transcendence is all pervading, present in every heart, he is perceived to a greater or a lesser degree depending on one's consciousness. Let me explain. Fire is always fire, but depending on the size and type of wood, the fire will appear larger or smaller. Similarly, the transcendental Lord is one, but depending on the consciousness of the sacrifices performer, he will perceive him either as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, or Bhagavan in his own spiritual abode." The merchant thought for some moments, and gradually a smile spread over his features as comprehension dawned on him. He said, "By serving Lord Vishnu, we can all see him to some degree, regardless of our level of consciousness. Either we see him everywhere in all situations as the impersonal or pervading Brahman, or we will perceive him in our own hearts and that of others, or we will directly enter into a relationship with him in a spiritual abode. Everyone benefits by serving him." Ritu patted the man on the shoulder. "Yes, you have understood. Thank you." The assembly became animated. Many called out, "Dear Master, we shall certainly worship the Lord." Tears welled in Prithu's eyes. You are all most merciful because of our relationship as king and subject. When you perform your occupational duties as an offering to Vishnu, I too will benefit. Therefore, uh, Therefore, my dear citizens, I thank you." Prithu then approached the Brahmins and bowed before them. Standing with folded hands, he said, "All you Brahmin devotees of Vishnu are glorious because of your elevated spiritual activities. Uh, because of your elevated spiritual qualities. You are tolerant, austere, and well versed in scriptural knowledge, which you apply in your lives. Therefore, according to authority, kings should not seek to govern you. Rather, we are admonished to avoid offending you at all costs. Prithu looked toward the assembly, knowing that the Supreme Lord himself, the primeval Godhead, who is foremost among all great personalities, attained his everlasting fame by worshipping the lotus feet of Vaishnava Brahmins. The Lord who exists in everyone's heart is independent, not relying on anyone else for his happiness. Nevertheless, he is pleased by those who, like himself, serve such Brahmins. They are dear to Vishnu because he is very dear to them. Prithu's chief minister said, "My lord, should we focus on satisfying such devotees rather than ritual fire sacrifice?" "Yes, this is my instruction to all my citizens." The minister replied, "My lord, forgive me, but I have a doubt. If we neglect ritual sacrifice to Agni, how will the gods be satisfied? The fire god is their mouth. Without such rituals, how will we become purified and attain liberation?" Prithu nodded to acknowledge the questions and said, "For your own welfare, kindly listen carefully. By regularly serving Vaishnava Brahmins, you can purify your hearts and enjoy supreme peace, material detachment, and full satisfaction. There is no ritual or duty superior to such service by which you can even please the gods." He walked through the throngs of citizens who parted to allow access to the fire pits where the priests were pouring ladles of ghee into fire while uttering the mantras to the gods. Indraya Swaha, Adityaya Swaha. His ministers, generals, and leading citizens followed closely behind him. Turning to them, Prithu said, "According to the Vedic injunctions, Lord Vishnu eats the offerings made in the sacrifices in the names of different gods. When the priests utter the word Swaha, it indicates their desire to satisfy Vishnu through gods." Gods like India and Aditya. Note this for sure, my dear people. Vishnu takes more pleasure in accepting offerings made to his learned, pure devotees than he does from offerings made to the sacrificial fire. The Lord is always in the company of such devotees, and by feeding them, we directly feed him. The chief minister asked, "Your Majesty, how can we recognize a qualified devotee Brahmin?" "This is an important question," said Prithu. "Firstly, he knows all the Vedic conclusions and has full faith in them. Conditioned souls are subject to four defects: a tendency to commit mistakes, to be illusioned, and to cheat, and they possess imperfect senses. Since devotees only speak according to the Vedas, whatever they say is transcendental to these four."
Thank you. Somebody else likes to continue?
Yes, I can read. The four defects. Furthermore, they engage in auspicious penance by controlling their mind and senses. This means they accept what is favorable for discharging devotional service to Vishnu and reject that which is not favorable. By thus aligning their thoughts, words, and deeds with Vishnu's, with genuine Brahmins continuously see the Lord within the heart. Prithu folded his palms. "Respectable one, I beg your blessings that I will always carry the foot dust of such Brahmins on my head by following their instructions. One who does so is quickly relieved of suffering and develops all godly qualities. You should understand that the elders in society are not those who are advanced in age, but who possess spiritual wisdom. These are the true Brahmins.
Wow.
By following their instructions, you will develop their virtue, including their greatest asset of good conduct and gratitude for the Lord's mercy. Then all opulence will naturally come to you. May the Lord and his associates, the Brahmins and the cows, be pleased with you." Prithu walked back to his throne amid cheers from the assembly. All praise to King Prithu. The gods, sages, Pitris, and the Brahmins offered his blessings, uttering wise one sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu. One of the leading sages, clad in a simple loincloth and shawl, holding a water pot and staff, stepping forward. O king, the Vedas declare that one can attain the heavens by the actions of the saintly son. Your father, the sinful Vena, was killed by the Brahmin's curse. However, you have delivered him from the darkest region of hellish life. You remind me of the great devotee Prahlad, who similarly delivered his sinful father Hiranyakashipu. Due to Prahlad's devotional service, his father was excused from hell and went back to Vishnu's spiritual abode. The Brahmins called out, O best of warriors, father of the world, may you enjoy a long life, for you are a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, the master of the universe. Prithu, chief minister, added, Dear King Prithu, your reputation is flawless because you always praise the most glorious personality, the Supreme Lord, beloved of the devotees. With you as your king, are we feel we are living under the direct protection of Vishnu, our dear Lord. It is not surprising that you so affectionately instruct your citizens regarding their best interest. This shows your great character. The leader of the merchant community then spoke. Due to our past action, each of us has a different body, and we are enjoying and suffering the reaction of our deeds under the God's supervision. Point to be noted. Until now, we did not understand the importance of serving Vishnu, nor did we know how to do so. Today, you have opened our eyes and revealed how to achieve liberation. Everyone in the assembly proclaimed their arranged agreements. When they again become quiet, the Brahmin's leader said, My dear Lord, under normal condition, Vishnu protects the kingly order through the instruction of the Brahmins, who in turn are protected by the king's power. However, as a great devotee of Vishnu, you are transcendental to the modes of nature. Although a king, you are as good as a Brahmana and are able to properly instruct the citizen. You are also qualified to perform the king's duty and protect us all. Loud cheer filled in the air. Jai!
Haribol, Haribol.
It was such a nice. I mean, first I noted the point about this, when we serve the Vaishnava, we will satisfy the Lord. And one more thing was said before. What was that? Uh, the gratitude for the Lord's mercy. I mean, this is wonderful. Like, I want to read it once again. And some of the very good points, like, when we, for our day-to-day life in this section. Any other remembered some of the points?
I mean, I especially like this point about how by following their instructions, right? It's not just, again, cheek slapping religion, but it's about developing virtues, including good conduct, gratitude for the mercy of the Lord. Like that, I like that point. And then I also like when it said it's not only about those who are senior in age, but it's those who are wise. They are. I like that point also. Yeah, many good points actually. It's such a powerful. It's like it's Prithu, like this is Prithu.
Yeah.
Any other comments about which one did you like? Any of you liked any specific points? I can try to go back to the page. Or if you have any questions. So patiently he's answering, I'm so touched and So
Mataji, what really struck me is the qualities of a leader, right? He was
yeah.
exhibiting the qualities of the leader, and when the leader exhibits those qualities, and I mean, we all are in some form or the other, some way or the other, like leaders in our own way, as for our children or wherever we are. But the
Mhm.
qualities we can cultivate, and I felt that what struck me. And as that was going, actually, I was meditating and thinking about like tomorrow when the yagna goes, like, what should be our consciousness for that
Yeah.
yagna?
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was thinking the same thing, that I should go beyond any mundane prayers and ask for. I'm going to ask for our Sangha, like Radha Shakti Sangha, our programs. I was thinking to make my prayers broader, right? I printed out photos of leaders and everything, of the movement. And I was thinking we should pray for greater things, because the Lord can give anything. It's all about intentions. And the astrology, the guru was telling, the most effective thing is your intention. The more strong and clear your intention is, and focused, the benefit of the yagya will be like that. And here also we read that. You saw that, depending on, right? Prithu Maharaj is speaking about that, like depending on your capacity, then there is results. And at the same time, it says, regardless of your consciousness, the Lord can still purify, even though it's a yagya which may be, many of the people that are going for yagya are asking for good health. They're not married, they want to get married. Some of them are asking for studies, right? But still, how to make that Krishnaized? That's the point, right? And I saw many young people also who sent the prayers. They wrote saying, may I be successful, this, that, is that, so that I can be of service to you and your mission. So nice, to see that mood. And if that is the mood, why will the Lord not empower us? So it's like we want to be part of the Lord's mission with our talents and capacity. Why the Lord will not respond and reciprocate, right?
Yeah, it is like, attention, where the attention goes, energy flows.
Exactly.
Oh, I was just charged this morning.
No, it's very, very, very inspiring. This is something we need to remember always, these instructions of Prithu.
Yeah, Mataji, like, I just really want to read these few pages again.
You know what I was thinking, Rajeshwar, Radhika Mataji? I was thinking we should read from the Sanskrit and the original texts, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, that will be good.
Because a couple of things I didn't find in the original Bhagavatam. For example, I was curious to understand about, when Indra embraces Prithu, and Prithu also says, I'm sorry that I was rude or something. Actually, that was not there in the original. And also, you saw we read that Prithu was a little bit, internally, he was not so convinced. Remember, there was all that we read. That's also not there in the original. It's kind of like creative license that he has used. So some things according to the original Bhagavatam, as soon as Vishnu comes, he's completely at peace and he gives up anything. And of course, it says in the verse, he gave up all enmity. And Prabhupada translates it as envy. But actually, the word there is enmity. Sanskrit word was enmity. So it just says he embraced Indra and gave up all enmity. It doesn't say about he apologized to Indra and all. It doesn't say.
Yeah, I was thinking why not? Because he is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So while seeing him, maybe he remember, I was like, Parshuram, sometimes he behave like, but as soon as he in contact, come into his senses, he become wise. So why not?
True.
We should read.
Yeah, we should. Okay, we can start it on Monday, okay? Because tomorrow actually tomorrow, if any of you can do it, because I won't be available tomorrow morning, we'll be like super busy setting up the yagya. So tomorrow, if you can, one of you can start reading it, and then we'll continue from tomorrow a little bit the Bhagavatam.
From where you want me to
The
start?
first,
I can do.
from the beginning of Prithu, the Vena being killed.
Okay. Okay, the Brahminas
Yeah,
chanted and the Veena
Yeah.
got died, and then afterwards, yeah.
that would be wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Great
Okay.
idea. I was also thinking, and you also came with the same idea. So it's like Krishna wants us to do that. Okay. Stali Mataji, are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Please continue.
Okay. Affirmation 18. I organize my life to make japa the most important activity of my day. If we don't consciously organize our life in a way that supports our japa, it's possible that aspects of our lifestyle may undermine good japa. For example, if we stay up late, we don't get up early, and rising late can negatively affect our japa. If we read a book or watch something not related to Krishna, this too could have a negative effect on our japa. If we allow ourselves to be so busy that we have little or no time for reading, puja, or service, our chanting will tend to be more mechanical than heartfelt. And if we are critical of devotees, this will definitely be harmful to our Krishna consciousness. There are also things we can do that will enhance our japa. For example, giving the holy name to others, preaching and distributing books, and or performing additional austerity or service empowers our chanting. For those who work, we are engaged in service in our spare time rather than using our free time for activities not related to Krishna. This will also help our chanting. And if we use our time to study the theology of the holy name or read books and or listen to lectures about improving japa, this will help us by keeping us focused on the need to chant well. The idea of this affirmation is to look at our life and consider whether we are doing anything which is undermining our ability to chant well, and also look at what we can do in our life that would support better chanting. As we know, most of the 10 offenses do not directly refer to chanting, but what we do when we are not chanting. Our lifestyle, attitudes, and activities affect our consciousness. Indeed, everything we see, say, hear, smell, taste, or do affects our consciousness, and our consciousness affects our chanting. This affirmation is meant to encourage us to organize our life in a way that supports good japa. As we become more conscious of how our activities affect our japa, we can make little changes in our life to help avoid anything that might negatively impact our japa and engage in activities that support good chanting. As such, this affirmation brings awareness of how our lifestyle may either be helping or harming our japa. Hare Krishna.
Jai Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Perfect.
Yeah.